Good evening to everyone. So thank you so much for joining this very live reaction to Netflix Trese, okay, the newest anime coming from Netflix. So before I start, I just want to say that I will be doing this review in English. Okay, now English is not my first language, so please bear with me if I fumble some words. But the reason I'm going to do it is in English is because, since this show Trese is um, now streaming on Netflix. So a lot of people outside the country, outside the Philippines, may be watching this. So I don't know, maybe they would just want to get a review from someone who's actually living inside the Philippines. So that's the reason why I'm going to do this in Tagalog. Oh no, not Tagalog, in English. Okay, I'm already bumbling it. But anyway, so guys, so have you all seen the latest anime? So, Trese. So to be quite honest, I'm not really familiar with Trese before it was shown on Netflix. Um, I saw that it was an graphic novel which was first brought out in 2005, but I was already into the paranormal in 2005, but unfortunately I was not really aware that such a graphic novel existed. So yeah. Well, anyway, so when I saw that it was going to be released on Netflix, I was excited to learn that it was a Filipino-made comics that it's going to be based on. So yeah, and then especially when I heard that Liza Soberano was the one chosen to dub, okay, Alexandra Trese the main lead. So of course that made me even more excited. So I waited yesterday, June 11, for it to be available globally. Okay, so I watched it as soon as it came out. I was not able to finish it in one go because I was editing um, my video that I just made. So I was quite tired by that time. So I finished the first three episodes, and then I finished the last three episodes when I woke up around 6 o'clock this evening. Okay, so I watched the show twice, each episode twice, both in English and in Tagalog or Filipino. Okay. Well, actually, I have a lot to say about the show. Okay, but first of all, I just want to say this before I say anything else. I really like the show, so I really loved it. I loved how it was um, featured. I loved the animation. I loved the storyline. So I really have very little to complain. Yes, very little because I do have some issues that I will be discussing later on. But um, apart from all of that, I really loved it. So I loved watching the show. I love the storyline. I love everything. Okay, except for some little things that I would like to nitpick. Okay, when watching something. Okay, so let us first start with the story. So what is Trese? So Trese, as I mentioned earlier, is a show which is based on a graphic novel created in 2005 by two people, Budget Tan and Kajo Balisimo. So I'm actually going to show you the Wikipedia page, okay, for Trese. Okay, let's see. Okay, so you will all can read with me. Okay, so I hope this is okay. I'm not sure if that's big enough, but anyway, so I'm going to read it for you anyway. So yes, as I mentioned, it was based on the comic series of the same name by Bachitan and Cadio Balesino. So it was produced by Base Entertainment and it was released on June 10 in the United States on Netflix and then followed by a global release the next day on June 11. Now at first, okay, I thought that the same people will be dubbing, okay, the characters on Trese because after all, okay, if you're going to use Filipino people, okay, to dub the Tagalog version, then those people I would assume could also speak in English. So it will make more sense for me at least to get the same people to dub the English version. But then it turns out that they have different people dubbing each version. So for the Alexandra character, okay, the main character, so of course we all know it was voiced by Liza Soberano. Okay, and then Shay Mitchell, the actress from Pretty Little Liars. Okay, she was the one who dubbed the English version. Okay, so who is Alexandra Trese? So Alexandra Trese is a healer warrior who serves a protector of humanity from supernatural being from the underworld. So yeah, okay. So basically, if you watch the series, okay. By the way, I'm going to mention some which might be a spoiler, just in case you haven't watched the show. So please be forewarned that I might be mentioning things that might spoil for you if you still intend to watch the show. Okay, but anyway, so Alexandra is from a family of Babaylan. So a Babaylan is sort of a priestess or someone who is, you know, some people call them witches. Okay, but not really. So most of them are really in tune with the nature, with harnessing the power of nature, and then they can talk to incantos and all, so they could cast spells also. So yes, so that's what Alexandra is. So she comes from a people who is attuned with nature and who could harness powers from nature. Okay, then aside from that, okay, so the other main characters show is the Kambal, which is named Crispin and Basilio. When I learned that, I was intrigued because, of course, if we all know, um, if you're a Filipino, then if you studied in high school, of course, you've studied Noli Me Tangere. And then if you're familiar, Crispin and Basilio are two characters. That is the sons of Sisa, okay, the crazy girl, the crazy woman from Noli Me Tangere. So I'm not sure if that this was intentional or if this is something, that the original creators of Trese just, chose it because it resonates with Filipinos. Okay, Crispin and Basilio twins. Okay, I don't know if that's is intentional or if it has something to do with the story itself. Okay, but anyway, so this was voiced by Simon De La Cruz. I'm not familiar with him. And then the English version was Griffin Puauto. Okay, I'm not sure if Griffin Puauto is half Filipino. Okay, since I've also watched the Trese After Dark episode. According to them, most of the dubbers, okay, or the voice actors were somewhere from Filipino descent. Okay, they have Filipino blood. So I'm not sure if Griffin, okay, the one who voiced the Kambal or Crispin and Basilio, is part Filipino. But anyway, okay, then the next one is Captain Guerrero. So the Filipino version was dubbed by Apollo Abraham. Again, I'm not sure who he is. The next one, I am not sure who he is either. So Matt Yang King. So I'm not sure if he has Filipino blood. Okay, but anyway, so basically, almost all the Filipino versions, well, this makes sense, of course, so were voiced by Filipinos. No, I'm not just sure why they didn't just have these same actors portray the English versions themselves, because as I mentioned, most Filipinos could also speak in English. So I don't know if this is something to do with, at least giving some jobs to Americans so that they can also have their own participation in the project. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. Um, I heard, okay, from watching the show Trese After Dark, that they also try to emulate the Filipino accent. Now, I'm not sure why. Okay, maybe it's to add flavor to make it more Filipino, but I thought it was not really necessary. Okay, to have the English version voice it in a Filipino accent. Okay, so well, maybe it is for some people, but personally, I think it's not really necessary because, again, okay, it's enough that you have the setting, okay, in Manila. Okay, so that's Filipino enough, but voicing it in a Filipino accent would make it you might deter some people, okay, from watching it. Okay, that's not Filipino. Okay, especially because I've been seeing some comments that they cannot understand. Okay, some of the voice actors because of the accent, which I find kind of amusing, really, because again, okay, yes, maybe the accent is a bit different from what you're using. Okay, if you're a Native American, if you're an American who really grew up and then speaks English, but it's not really that foreign if you come to think of it. Okay, so if you're going to listen to it, it's still the same. Okay, just a different accent. Like if you're going to hear someone speak in an Italian accent, speaking in English. So um, I sort of thought that it was kind of racist. Okay, maybe they're being racist in a way. Okay, when they say that they cannot understand. Okay, the person speaking if it's in a sort of different accent, but still, I don't know. Okay, but anyway, that's just my opinion. So I just think that I find it quite funny that some people are saying that they cannot understand it because it was in a Filipino accent. But anyway, okay. So what can I say about the show itself? So I've already mentioned that I loved it. So I really did. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to try and show you some of the. I hope I don't get flagged. Okay, for copyright. But maybe I shouldn't. Okay. But anyway, I think most of you have already watched it. Okay. So I love the animation. It was really clean. It was crisp. Okay. So I think it was at par with some of the animations that comes out from Japan or the ones that Americans did. Okay. So it was really nice. Okay. I was a bit worried that they would continue showing the Philippines in, the not so pleasant environment because for some reason when you feature the Philippines, they sometimes always show. Okay, sometimes always, but anyway, see they show the slums. Okay, the city where there are like broken or it's very dirty and all. So I'm not really sure why they do that because if you're not just going to focus on one thing, okay, if you're going to show the not so pretty side of Manila, then people might think that that's really the every corner of Manila. You get what I mean? Okay, so I think you should represent everything, okay, or at least try to balance it out by representing. Okay, so this is Manila, okay, or let's say Tondo. So this is what Tondo looks like. So there are a bit of slums. So there are some people who are lounging just lounging around. Okay, so it's a bit decrepit. Okay, so it's a bit old. But there's also a side of Manila where it's very clean. There's more affluent people are residing. Okay, so you just have to balance it out. So there are also parks. Okay, that are very well maintained. So we have to make sure that we're not really representing the Philippines in somewhat negative light. That you're going to think, okay, it's all slums. The Manila is all slums. Okay, all you are going to see there are like broken down things and then faded and old buildings. So I hope I'm glad that it's not the case. So eventually in the first episode I was worried about that because they were like showing this bits of pieces of uh you know um Manila, okay, in the slums area or the MRT where there are like, not really that pretty if you really look at it. But then later on they showed things that I'm more familiar with. So I'm more familiar with, the suburbs, okay, the more well-maintained atmosphere in Manila. But anyway, so yes, and then let's go to the monsters or the creatures that were featured in the show. So I'm glad that they featured the aswang. Of course, the very first creature that they showed were the aswangs. So what are aswangs? So just in case you're not aware, which is I'm really not sure why if you're watching this, but aswangs are creatures who turns into monsters. Okay, at night. Okay, sometimes they don't really turn into monster. They're just people who likes to eat people. Okay, they're not cannibals because they're not just ordinary people who likes to eat people. So there are monstrous beings. Okay, so they can either turn into an animal or they can just turn into a grotesque figure. Okay, that can eat people. Okay, so yeah, that's the first creature that we saw. Okay, in the episode. So it was really nice. How they modernized the aswang. Kasi, okay, I spoke in Tagalog. But anyway, because most of my stories here, okay, well, not all, but most, okay, so some people think that aswangs are just stuck in the provinces. Okay, so they're not really that made that modern. So you would think that as long as you're in Manila, where it's almost all buildings, okay, they're not really that much trees anymore, so that you're safe. Okay, so this really made that made that kept it in a different direction. That I've always told in my narration, aswangs and other creatures also evolved with us. So it's really foolish to think that the aswangs will stay in the provinces, okay, that they cannot go out of the country, and that they will keep, you will keep them dumbed down, that you will, I'm sorry for the term, but that they will be just be, always be old people, there will always be stuck in the country. No. So in the Aswangs here are portrayed as being, like a gang, okay, which kind of makes sense, okay? So you would think that people are being kidnapped, or then they just disappear without a trace, but actually the Aswangs are the one who are but the perpetrators. They were the ones who did that. So they're like a syndicate. That's the word I'm looking for. So they're already turned into a syndicate, who are in the for doing like kidnappings of people. So of course they're not kidnapping these people for ransom. They're kidnapping them for their meat. Okay, in order to eat them. Okay, and then I also like, okay, the way that they try to jibe. They involve politics in this, so it really makes all sense. It all I really found it enjoyable, and then I really found it really nice, okay, that they were able to put all these elements in. Okay, they also feature the Balete Drive White Lady. Okay, so in this version, the Balete Drive White Lady is someone, the mayor's former lover, who was sacrificed for the aswang. Okay, so I wish that they gave more backstory to that, but then sadly they didn't. But maybe in season 2 they would try to put in more details about the people or the characters in the story. Okay, so the other creatures featured in the show were the tikbalangs. Okay, then there's of course the nunu sa punso. Okay, the laman lupa. Okay, okay, and then what else? They were briefly mentioned or briefly featured, but I also saw a capre. Okay, and then there were the Encantados, or I think they were mentioned as wind people, but I think they should have called them for what they are, the Tamawo. Okay, the wind people. Okay, so they were also featured there. Okay, so did I like how they were portrayed? Yes. Okay, again, I like the modernization of these characters. Okay, I really cannot reiterate enough that it's really, really foolish to think that these beings, okay, are, going to be kept in the provinces. They're just going to be simple people who have not evolved with the times. So you've shown the Tamao or the Wind people, dressed sexily. They were, flirtatious. So they're not really, what you would think that you will be very conservative. They will be too serious and all. So I really like that. Okay, so now let's start. Okay, with my reaction to how Liza Soberano and Shay Mitchell performed, and the other characters maybe. Okay, I'll also mention them briefly. Okay, so let's start with Liza Soberano. Okay, so again, when I first learned that Liza Soberano was the one chosen to voice the main lead, okay, Alexandra Trese, I was, well, to be quite honest, I was happy that she was chosen because I thought that, she could deliver a good job because she's pretty. Maybe I think that, someday, okay, if this becomes a hit, they could make it at a live action, and she would be the one to portray the character, okay, on live action movie. However, okay, so I started with the Filipino version because at first I thought, okay, why should I watch the English version when I could watch the Filipino version, since I could understand, of course, Tagalog, since Tagalog is my first language, Filipino. Okay, so yeah, I started with that. I could summarize everything into one word. Okay, when it in terms of Liza Soberano's performance, monotone, monotone. What is monotone? So when you're speaking in a way wherein there's no undulation, when you're speaking in like a rise and fall of the tones, it's monotone. This is Manila. you know, I found it quite dead. So okay, when I read that Liza Soberano was a bit hesitant on taking on the role because she was not sure if she could deliver. I understood what she was saying because actually I felt that okay, I'm so sorry for this if you're a Liza Soberano fan. Okay, I felt that she was a bit miscast for this um role. I felt that someone else, a different actress, could probably do a better job than she did in voicing Alexandra Trese. Now, I'm really sorry about that, and I felt really sad because I was really rooting for Liza to perform well in voicing Alexandra Trese. The reason for this is because well, in the first episode, I think she was still well, if they adopt the first episode, it would make sense, I think. Okay, so she was maybe still trying to find her footing, I think. Okay, because it was really monotone. It was so boring to listen to. Okay, again, I get the character that she was supposed to portray someone who is serious, someone who is fierce, someone who is really, not really a giggly girl, not who, there will be very little to no emotion. Okay. However, still you can do that by not sounding monotone. And here's where Shell Mitchell did a good job. Because okay, as again, what I did was I watched both versions. I watched the Filipino version and then the English version. So I watched the Filipino version first. Then I was not really that impressed with how Liza Soberano dubbed the character. Then I listened to Shay Mitchell's version, and quite frankly, I prefer the English version. Okay, because again, okay, I think Shay Mitchell also got the brief that okay, we're portraying someone who's serious, someone who's not giggly, someone who is intense on what she's doing, and Shay Mitchell was able to do voice acting again. Okay, if you're trying to portray someone who is serious, it's not going to be monotone. So that's the wrong impression. That's the wrong thing to think. Okay, if you're going to think, if you're going to do it in a series, because again, there's also if you're serious, there's still going to be some rise and fall. Like think of Miranda Priestley, if you know The Devil Wears Prada, she was not speaking in a monotone. Okay, but she's serious. She was not, she was not raising her voice, but she still, okay, the way she enunciated each word, okay, there's a rise and fall. Because again, okay, your voice acting. So acting, okay, and voice acting are not really that, well, there's similarity, of course, but it's kind of different if you're going to do voice acting. Again, I'm okay because people might, you know, roast me because, I do it sort of myself. I narrate, okay, then I do a bit of voice acting myself, if you call it that. Okay, I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but I think I know a little bit about, how to do it. Okay, how to do a proper way of delivering or giving life to the character through your voice. Okay, so I think Shay Mitchell just did a very better job, okay, in portraying Alexandra Trese because again, okay, so she got the brief. It was supposed to be a character that's serious, but then you still, it's still just more pleasant to listen to. Okay, when it comes to the rise and fall, the intonation, and then the undulation, and then the enunciation of the words. Okay, so all those Sean. Okay. So yeah, I hope that you get what I mean. Okay, but still, but I did give it a chance. Okay, so even though I was not really impressed with the first episode, I still tried to watch the other episodes wherein Liza was giving her character okay to Alexandra Trese, and she did improve a bit. by the towards the end, but still I thought it was still not enough. Okay, maybe if there's going to be a season 2, I think there's going to be, since it ended in a cliffhanger. Okay, I hope that Liza, you know, shake things up. Okay, maybe Liza, if you could please, add more. I'm not saying that you should be more exaggerated in voicing it. Okay, in doing your voice acting. I'm just saying, um, because here's my problem with this. Okay, so I did watch some of Liza's show, and I noticed that her voice is kind of soft. Okay, so I'm not sure if that is really her forte. So I don't. Again, I think she was a miscast for this. Okay, she was not the actress that's really fitted for this character. Because when I listened, and then when I tried to internalize Alexandra Trese's character, I thought, okay, this is just my opinion. I thought that um actresses like Dimples Romana, okay, so if you know Dimples Romana, she's the one who portrayed in Cadenang Ginto, she was Daniela, okay, so I thought she was a better fit for this character, that she will be able to give life to the character of Alexandra Trese better. Okay, because she has a firm grasp of the Tagalog language. Okay, and then she could, enunciate her words. She could make it more fierce. Okay, she could be serious, of course. And also Isa Calzado. So I thought that Isa Calzado would be a better actress to dub this character. Okay, because she could also, make her voice fiercer, serious. Okay, so there has to fit the bill. Because again, this character is not really someone that, shows too much emotion, but still it's just, on the brim. Okay, so you need to, like, know how to play it. Okay, play with the character a bit with in terms of her voice. Okay, so but anyway, so enough of that. So that being said, I'm more impressed with Shay Mitchell's performance in voicing Alexandra Trese than Liza Soberano's performance. Okay, then let's go to the other characters in the show. Uh, well, for the twins, I really don't know. I'm a bit of on offense with this. So I thought that the English version was still much better, okay, than the Tagalog version. I don't know why. Okay, just thought that maybe because whenever the twins are there, they're mostly interacting with Alexandra, okay, or Liza Soberano. So maybe it affects how I think of their performance, because they're also listening. They're bantering, okay, with Alexandra, okay. So I don't know. But I just still thought that the English version was better. Okay, so and then let's see. Okay, so I'm going to delve much further with the characters. In the first episode, if you remember the episode in the MRT where Alexandra conjures up this spell, and then she spoke with an emissary from the goddess of death, Ibu. Okay, they call her Ibu. The character, okay, the Filipino one, was speaking ordinarily. You know what I mean? I think, okay, if you're going to do a supernatural creature, that's why when I do my narration, okay, if you would notice, I do some special effects in the voice, because I think, okay, it adds to the character. It adds to, that this is not an ordinary person, so there will be something different with her voice. Okay, so the emissary of the goddess of death, okay, she was speaking in an ordinary way. Okay, so I thought that was underwhelming. So I thought, okay, they could have made her voice a bit echoey, more ethereal, something different, do something with her voice. Okay, but no. Okay, but I think they did something with the rest of the episode, because when she was featured again, okay, I think it was in the third episode. Okay, when the Amananhig, okay, was featured. Uh, her voice was a bit different. So I think they did something there. So maybe they caught on that, okay, so the voice would have to have an ethereal quality to it. an otherworldly quality. So make it a bit echoey. So you would have to make it like a voice coming from a non-human being person. Okay, so yeah, okay, so that's why I know what I noticed when I listen to that character, and then when I listen to the English version, they got it right the first time. Okay, so the English version's voice was, just what I expected it to be. So it was a bit echoey. There's something surreal about her voice. Not you would make you think that okay, so it's better. It's much better. It's much better than the Filipino version. Okay, again, I don't want to feel that I don't want to say that I'm trying to be, hate my own country, because no, it's totally not the case, because I was really rooting for the Filipino version, because I was really happy that finally we have something that's Filipino made, something based on the Philippines, conceptualized by Filipinos, and then they put it on a global platform like Netflix. So I was really happy. Okay, so and again, this is Netflix, so I was thinking that okay, they have a big budget for this, so they will be, um, the effects will be through the roof. Okay, so they will have more leeway to play with the characters and all. So I don't know. Okay, I don't know what happened. Okay, but anyway, okay, so let's move on. So as for the other creatures, okay, and how they were voiced, uh, okay, the Datu, I forgot his name, but the Datu, okay, the father of the twins. The English version still did a better job. Okay, I don't know what happened. Okay, again, okay, if you're going to do a supernatural being's voice, okay, it would really cannot be the same as a normal speaking voice. Okay, I mean, if you're going to have okay an ordinary person talking, and then this, let's say a capre, or a god. Okay, so their voice would have to be different, maybe more powerful, add more effects, maybe more grittier. Okay, so you get what I'm saying. Okay, so I hope that the Filipino crew who's doing the dub for the Filipino version would, you know, maybe they would try to incorporate more sound effects into doing the dub. Okay, again, okay, so please step it up a notch, I think. Okay. Okay, and then about since we're talking about the dub, okay, and then let me also speak about the subtitles. Now, I'm not sure if guys, if you watch the show in Filipino, if you've also turned on the captions or the subtitles in Filipino, because I was really surprised because it's not matching. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, so it's the character is speaking in Filipino. Okay, then the subtitles are also in Filipino. Why aren't they not matching? Okay, so of course I can understand okay what they're saying in Filipino. So okay, I'm not sure why. What why was it like that? So I'm not sure if the one who's doing the subtitles got a different script. Okay. So why are they not putting in the exact thing, okay, underneath? Because I checked, okay, the English version. So the English version and the subtitles or the captions are matching. You know, so I don't know what's the deal with that. So why are they not matching with each the Filipino subtitles and the Filipino script? Their voice is not really reflected on what is being shown underneath. So again, maybe there is something that could be done about that. So I think that since this is Netflix, I don't know if they're outsourcing the one who's doing the subtitles, or they were being given a different script. Okay, I don't know why they can just put the subtitles underneath. Um, you know, so why is the script different? Okay, and then yeah, what else can I say? Actually, that's all there is. So I've already mentioned how I love the show. Okay, I do love how the story evolved. So I'm glad that they were doing these flashbacks, okay? Because I was, not really sure how Alexandra Trese had the twins with her in supporting her in beating bad guys. But they were able to show that okay, the twins were actually the offsprings of the Datu. Okay, I forgot his Lakandulaw, I think. Okay, but this is an evil Datu. Okay, who is um, intent on destroying the world. Okay, he wants chaos, so he wants to make everyone go crazy and then kill each other. Okay, so I really like that. I really like that they were doing the flashbacks. I think. Um, yeah, I did get that the mother, okay, the mother of Alexandra died because of an aswang attack. Okay, so I'm happy about that. So maybe I'm just curious on how the father died. It was not really mentioned, or maybe it was mentioned, but it was not really shown. Um, because the last scene that we saw of him was when he was trying to cast a protective spell over the tree. Okay, maybe to protect Alexander. So I don't know if he died after doing that, or maybe he died in some other way. So right, yeah. What else? Okay. Um, the father's character had two people with him. Okay, so who was also the counterpart of the twins. Okay, so at first I thought they were werewolves. Okay, because they suddenly turned into wolves or dogs, big dogs. So, but later on, Alexandra mentioned that they killed the Sigbin. So apparently, these two guys, okay, these hulky guys, okay, that turned into wolves are not werewolves, but they're Sigbins. So they're really not how I think a Sigbin would look like. Or maybe Alexander was referring to a different creature. Maybe these twins killed a Sigbin that was not really shown in the show itself. But I don't know. Okay, so I just really quite confused about that. Okay, by the way, okay, I'm really hoping to read the actual graphic novel. So I have found the graphic novel on Shopee. Okay, hopefully I will be able to buy them soon. They're a bit expensive. Okay, so I understand that because right now Trese is on Netflix. So of course more interest is being generated on the books. Okay, maybe because it's a global platform now. Then of course people are going to demand to read the actual thing. So but yeah, I do hope to get the book on my hands on the book soon. Okay. So I can read and see if um the show is faithful to the story, because as you all know, okay, not all the details, okay, could be shown on the show. Okay, so of course, because of time constraint, maybe it's going to keep make problems for the show to uh flow, okay, the story flow. But I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so once I get my hands on the books, I'll make sure to read them and see how faithful the show was to the actual books. Okay, but I heard, okay, but because I did watch the after show, the Trese After Dark, and then they did say that it was for most part faithful. Okay, and then the original creators of Trese were there. Okay, they did say that they were supportive of it. Well, I doubt they could really say no, I'm not really supportive, because they did allow them to turn this into a show. And of course, if you're going to promote a show, you're not going to say anything bad about it. But anyway, what else could I say? Okay, what I thought, okay, well, about the character, Alexandra Trese herself. So when I first watched this, I did see, okay, so this is like, X Files, the Scully and Mulder type, okay, and then this is more almost similar to Constantine. And then when I watched the after show, okay, the Trece After Dark, the creators did, uh, you know, they also said that yes, they were indeed inspired by those characters. So I was right about that, because there were some similarities, okay, to Constantine. And I'm glad that they did, because initially, okay, when I watched the show, I learned that initially they were planning to make it a male character. They wanted a man to portray Trese. But then they changed their minds, okay, at the last minute. They wanted a female character because there was already so much male characters from the Philippines. Okay, so they wanted to do a female character, which is the best thing that they really did, okay, the last minute. Okay, so maybe I was not going to be more on board with this if this is just a male character, because again, I wanted more I want girl power, okay, more females, okay, being portrayed, okay, in you know, in stories, okay, and then I don't want the generic, damsel in distress kind of girl. I wanted a strong female character to be portrayed. So I'm really happy about that. Okay, then what else? I think I pretty much said everything that I would like to say about the character or in the show. So yeah, I really really liked it. I liked aside from the little bits and pieces I've mentioned about it, about Liza Soberano's performance and the other Filipino characters, Filipino voice dubbers' performance, I really have very little to complain about. Okay. So yeah, I really like it. Maybe I'm just a bit frustrated by the ending because it was, a cliffhanger. So I'm not sure what Alexandra is going to do by going back to the balete tree. Okay, so maybe she is going to, maybe summon her sister, her long lost sister, because it was also mentioned in the after show. Liza asked, okay, whether her twin, okay, the one who is supposed to, destroy everything, if she is still alive, because in she mentioned a very valid point that in teleseries, Filipino soap operas, so when twins are featured, most of the time the twin that you thought that is really already dead is actually still alive. Okay, just she's just being kept somewhere. Okay, maybe she's unaware of her true identity, and then she will be coming back either as an opponent, okay, the villain, or maybe she is the one who's going to set things right. So I think we just have to wait for season 2. So I think there will be more to the story, and we'll see what they really is going on. Okay, going on with the character, and with this twin. Okay, so if we're going to explore more on what is this about the twin. Okay, and then yeah, what else? I think that's it. I pretty much said everything I would like to say about the show. Okay, so again, if you haven't watched the show, I really, really, really encourage you to watch it on Netflix. Okay, so Trese. Trese is a show about Filipino folklore and mythology. So there are creatures there which are, part of Filipino culture. Okay, so our beliefs about the Nunu sa Punso, Kapre, white ladies, and then there are also some elements there that we're not really that familiar with. Okay, like the Lakandulaw character, the Datu Lakandulaw. So maybe he is an obscure legend that we're not really that, uh, you know, that familiar, okay, with. And then this Ibu character, I'm not sure. I was really surprised that there was a goddess of death in Filipino folklore. So yeah, so that is something that we'll have to look into someday. Okay, since I've already mentioned everything, okay, so that I want to say on the show, let me go ahead then and read the comments. And this time, magtatagalog na po ako. So tama, nakita ko, Kari, yung mga sinabi mo na parang dinudugo. Malapit na akong duguin, kaya ito na hindi na ako nakatiis, duduguin na ako, kaya magtatagalog na ako. Okay, hindi ko na kinaya. Okay, anyway, so gagawin ko to guys, yung mga ano po, yung parang mga ganito, mga reaction ko siguro sa mga paminsan-minsan kapag meron akong nakitang movie o kaya show na paranormal, still ilagay pa rin natin sa paranormal yung mga i-discuss ko dito sa Dollsandspooks. Okay, pero hindi naman for primarily talaga mga narration pa rin yung gagawin ko, mga stories. Okay, so ayan, so hello sa'yo Kari, Kenji, okay, so hello po. Hello kay Darren G. Okay, Karika Mia, hello. Yes, Sarah already watched the trailer. Yung trailer yung show, napanood mo ba? Okay, Present Pohara, ang ganda ata niyan movie. Hindi po siya movie, it's a show. Okay, initially daw, sabi daw nila, gagawin daw talaga nila na parang isang single full-length film lang siya. Pero inisip nila na okay, parang mas magandang series. So yan, ginawa na lang talaga nilang series. So yung Trese. Okay? So yan, good evening sa lahat. Happy Independence Day. Oh my God, the Independence Day nga pala ngayon, Nakalimutan ko. Epekto ng pandemic. Good evening everyone. Sa wakas nakasali din. Hi Ma'am Shi. Hello sa'yo Ms. Teresa Sosa. Okay, hi Sir Clark. Hi Rans Francisco. Okay. So yan, gandang gabi. Natigil ako kakapit din ng kwento mo. May live ka pala dito. Hindi ko masyadong binroadcast since hindi ako sure kung marami pong manunood. Since this is not our usual show na nagbabasa ako ng mga story. So more reaction ko lang dun sa show na yun, yung sa Trese. Nosebleed. Okay, Tagalog di ko gets. Okay, pasensya naman. Kasi nga inisip ko kasi na since, pinalabas nga siya sa Netflix. So may mga ibang mga foreigner, okay, namang hindi naman familiar sa Tagalog na makikinig. Baka lang naman. Okay, so inisip ko na English siya para medyo maintindihan nila yung Carabao English ko. Okay, so hindi ako magaling mag-English, guys. Okay, so trying hard. Nandiyan din ba sila Amihan na Lena Perez at Danaya? Kaloka ka. Okay, Encantadia. Okay. So, ayan po. So, magaling din pagkakadab ng Japanese, parang natural lang. Kaya hindi na ako surpresa doon. So, hindi ko pinapakinggan, of course, yung Japanese version since parang hindi ko na-carry since pinanood ko na siya ng 2 beses. Tagalog at saka English version. So, kung pati ba naman yung Japanese, baka naman yung makorta na yung ko. Pero anyway, so, hindi na ako magtataka doon since magaling talaga magdub ang mga Japanese. Since talagang forte na nila. And then, assuming na yung kinuha nila talaga mga nag-voice doon ay talagang mga voice actors. So, talagang professional na voice actors. So, hello sa'yo, Filipina, Mami Canada. Okay, yan. Oh God, tama na English. Pinapatay niyo ako. Grabe, yan ang Tagalog na ako. May Filipino version ito. Bawal pala mag-Tagalog. Hindi, okay? So, kaya nga in English ko siya. You need to practice speaking in English. How about this, Robbie? The Blue Rose. I hope they present your last. Okay, pinapanood ko na ito ngayon. Okay, so yes, panoorin niyo po Black Angel PH. Okay, may bayad bang Netflix? 300 pesos per month. Yes, subscription po siya. Okay, so kami kasi, lahat dito kasi kami, marami po kami dito, yung mga kapatid ko. So, parang nag-chip in kami sa pagbayad doon sa Netflix. So, kapag marami kayo, okay, kunyari, syempre, hindi lang naman ikaw yung manunood, yun, pwede kayo mag-chip in para mas makamura kayo. Okay, then maganda siya kasi pwede ka makapanood ng mga original shows nila, like yung pinapanood ko doon, yung Bridgerton, tapos yung ibang mga movies pa nila na yung mga iba like Twilight. Okay, so recently pinanood ko nga yung Twilight doon sa Netflix. Although napapanood naman siya outside Netflix, alam mo na yung mga nagla-livestream o naglalagay ng mga movies outside. So we all know that, pero still at least to legal at saka isa pa, hindi ka matatakot na biglang mawala. Okay, hindi matatanggal bigla kasi syempre Netflix to. At least alam nila talaga, binayaran talaga nila para mapunta daw yung show. Good morning, Sir Clark. Puti nakaabot ako sa live. Nanood kasi ako ng Conjuring at King Kong versus Godzilla. Okay, so yes, sige. Nood lang po ng mga ganyan, Miss Jennifer Shields. Ako nga parang balak ko ngayon, since nasa, na ako sa panonood, tatapusin ko na yung isang pinapanood ko na movie. Medyo luma na to, 2015. Okay, ang pangalan niya po yung sa Red, ano nga ba yung nakalimutan? Red, Crimson Peak. Okay, Crimson Peak. So, nilagay ko po siya dun sa po natin. Okay, sa Facebook group natin kung interesado po kayong manood. Okay, so ito po. So, basahin ko ito. Sabi ni Roy Marlon Uy, Japanese dub is the best. No offense to the Filipino dub, but the actress they hired there is not suitable. I hate to agree. Okay, so as I mentioned in my review, Liza Soberano is a bit of a miscast for the characters. So, the character needs someone who is fierce, okay, who could deliver an assertive tone. Okay, and then Liza has a very sweet and nice tone that is not suited for the character. So, yeah. Okay, I hope uh, I don't want to be mean to Liza because I like her as a person, but as a voice actress, maybe someone else could do a better job. I mentioned actresses like Dimples Romana and Isa Calzado. I think they could do a better job in dubbing the character. Okay, yan. So, yeah, try mo Japanese dub, ma'am. Sabi ni Richter Belmonte, 00 Belmont Clan. Okay, ewan ko. Baka hindi na. Okay, so bigay na natin sa kanila yun. I think talagang na, kahit na hindi ko pa napapakinggan, okay na yung Japanese dub. Okay. So, hi Ma'am Shi Clark. Good evening po sa iyo. God bless. Hello kay Mejo Olaisman. Okay, so God bless din po. Talagang ni-spoil niya lahat. Okay. Okay, ano ba yan? Yung Japanese dub, ibang level. Talaga ba? So, sabi ko na eh. Iba talaga yung mag-dub. Kasi talagang I feel talagang voice actors ang kinuha nila sa Japanese. So, kung hindi pa nila naayos yun, ewan ko na lang. Okay? So, ayan po. So, mabuti di pa dumudugong ilong ni Cara. Muntik na kanina. Okay? Okay, Japanese dub brought Trese to another level. Talaga ba? Sige nga, parang panoorin ko lang siguro isang episode. Di ka ba uminom ng tubig? Kanina nga pa ako inom eh, pero feeling ko mawawala yung momentum ko. Kaya yan, uminom na ako ng tubig. Yan, talagbusaw, yung pala yun. Okay, nahanap ko yung kasi medyo hindi ko kasi maalala ng mabuti yung pangalan niya. Okay? So it was shown how he died. Really? Okay, so yun na pala yun. Kasi with the last scene I saw, he was casting this spell nga, okay, on the tree. So I'm not sure if that is just how he really died. So did he die after doing that, or I'm not really sure. Maybe it is. Okay, so if you're saying that that's how he died, then maybe it is. Because I was, expecting that he would be shown, dead, basically. Okay, that he will be shown, falling down on the ground, and then he will be covered with a sheet. So, when you do that to a character, then yeah, he's dead. Okay, so definitely he's dead. But when it's something really vague like that, he will be casting a spell, then this light will be shown. So that's subject for interpretation. Maybe he passed away, yes, like what you said. Or maybe he survived, okay, after doing the spell. Because it was not really shown clearly if he really died after doing that. Okay, hello Tita Florencia de Guzman. So good morning po. Pasensya na po kayo, hindi ko na po kayo na-inform Tita kasi po pinapanood ko pa po yung Trese hanggang pong 9 o'clock. Okay, then 9 o'clock naligo na po ako, nagbisa ako, tapos pagis ko muntik na ako mahuli kasi nga po 9:28 na nung natapos akong mag-prepare. Okay, so yan, hindi ko na po tuloy na share ko nga lang po dun sa page ko lang, dun sa page lang ng Dollsandspooks, dun sa page ng sa group, and then yan, hindi ko po masyadong na pamalita. Okay. That Dark. Ayan. So yan, good morning pala dyan, Ma'am Florencia. Okay? So magandang gabi po. Kala ko lalaki. Ano po ba? Anong ibig niyo sabihin? So yes, Carrie, it's 7 a.m. Okay, 7 a.m. sa California. Okay, maganda din Castlevania, madam. Talaga ba? Castlevania. Alam ko parang siya parang game po siya sa PlayStation. Hindi ko alam na meron palang movie rin na Castlevania. Okay, mukha po siyang lalaki. Si Alexandra Trese? No, babae po siya. Okay, so siguro lang medyo fierce kasi yung dating niya. Okay. Hi Ma'am Florencia, I hope that you have a nice day. Okay, so did you watch the after credits in episode 6? Sabi ni Jonathan Paul Villar. Yes, okay, then it showed another character. So, parang dating nga sa akin is, this is a character that is sort of Chinese because I don't know, she gave me Chinese vibes, but she had white hair and red eyes. I'm not sure if she's an aswang or she's another character that we're not aware about. But yeah, I think it means that there will be definitely a part 2, or sorry, not a part 2, a season 2. I'm not sure if this person is her long lost sister. Maybe she's the twin of Alexandra, but she was transformed into a different being. So I'm not sure, but we'll see. Maybe definitely there will be a season 2, I think, with a cliffhanger like that. Okay. Hindi ko nga alam na may live stream. Ayan, pasensya na kay Tita Florencia, hindi na po ako nakapamalita masyado. Na ko lang po siya doon sa, ang tawag nito, sa tatlong sa dalawang group at saka dun sa page. Okay, so lahat talaga ng mythical Filipino creatures. At sabi nga nito is ano daw, ang kulang na lang daw dun is yung, although nakapakita naman sila ng konti, pero not really so much featured, yung manananggal, okay? Then gusto ko rin na sana more on sa mga Encantada. Si Mariang Makiling kasi na-mention doon, and I was expecting to see Mariang Makiling, but for some reason she was not shown, okay? So, hindi ko alam kung yung Mariang Makiling ba na yun, ito ba yung isang doon na character na pinakita na may mga parang, may bilog sa likod niya. Okay, I'm not sure if that's Mariang Makiling or it's a different being or what. Okay? Wala akong Netflix. Okay? So, may bayad manood, Ma'am Clark. Yes, sa Netflix. Subscription po kasi yung Netflix. Pero sabi ni Carrie, meron daw sa net. Okay, so sige, hindi pa ako magpaka-hypocrite, din po ako outside yung mga medyo not legal. Okay? Pero, just do what you will. Kung saan po kayo makakapanood na conveniente para sa inyo, panoorin niyo po. Okay, at kagkag. I'm not sure kung na-feature din yung kagkag. Kasi ang kagkag is, ito po yung mga aswang, di ba, na parang nagpapaikot-ikot sa mga biktima nila. Tapos kumakanta-kanta ganyan. Okay, bago nila kainin. Okay? So, anong ganap dito? Ayan, Maria Escanilian. So, ano lang po, review lang po ako dun sa Netflix series na Trese. Okay. So, ayan. Happy Independence Day. Okay? And then yung Lipsticks and Shadows. Meron pong Chinese mythological creatures sa after credits ng episode 6. Yes, there is. So, I'm not sure if she's really Chinese or, because yes, initially I thought that she was Chinese. But then I thought, okay, how does this fit in with the Filipino mythology or the Filipino creature? So, meron bang Chinese na Filipino creature? Kaya nga inisip ko, hindi kaya ito yung twin sister ni Alexandra. Maybe this is, the twin that we thought died, okay, that her father killed, okay, to change the prophecy. But again, we'll find out in season 2, I think, since, medyo pa parang teaser, okay, regarding dun sa mangyayari sa susunod. Okay? Yan. Then lapit na mag 45K. Yes, guys. Okay, 45K. Once we reach that, okay, so Tita Florencia promised that she will sponsor a raffle. Okay? So magpaparaffle po tayo, 200 pesos na load to 10 lucky winners once we reach 45,000 subscribers. So please, if you know someone who is not yet subscribed to the channel, why not ask them to subscribe? And then of course to watch na rin. Okay, para po makatulong po talaga kayo sa Dollsandspooks. So thank you po in advance. Okay, watch the after credits sa episode 6. I did. Okay, I did watch. So yan, movie review, Ate Maria. May new stories kayo, ma'am. Yeah. Okay, so nag-upload po ako kaninang 12 o'clock ng tanghali. So we have a video, okay, that was just uploaded earlier. So please nood po kayo doon. Okay? Then tomorrow, I might. Kasi nga yung gagawin ko after this is I'm going to fix a story na binigay po sa atin ni Lester Wrights. Okay? So it's a fictional story pero 15 parts po kasi siya. Pero I think I can condense that into either one video or 2. Depende kung gaano po siya kahaba. Kasi parang tingnan ko yung mga bawat mga stories, medyo maikli lang po siya. So, yun po yung ayusin ko po ngayon. And then, hindi ko po alam kung magagawa ko po siya for tomorrow. Pero definitely, kung hindi tomorrow, next week. Okay. I'm a silent listener. So, thank you so much, That Dark. Okay. So, mas mabuti na meron new animation made in Filipino. Yes, tama po. So, proud naman ako na, finally, we're starting to get, ourselves better known in terms of, getting our stories out there in the global platform. At least ngayon, okay, so alam na ng mga Amerikano, ng mga taga-ibang bansa, ng mga European, lahat ng may mga Netflix, kung makikita nila to na okay, so here in the Philippines, we have creatures like this, na mga aswangs, mga duwende, mga nunu sa punso, may mga white lady pa tayo and all. So these are creatures na talagang mostly dito lang sa Pilipinas natin maririnig, yung dito lang natin malalaman. Okay, so may mga creatures din of course na mga sa Japanese kasi yung sa Japanese mas kilala sila For some reason siguro nga dahil nga yung mga Japanese ay gumagawa ng mga animes. And then sa kanila, nag-start na sila na yung mga creatures na inherit dun sa kanilang culture, sinasama nila sa kanilang animation. Okay? So watching now, madam. Okay, so yes, watch nyo po. Thank you so much, Kenji. Trese, yes, Trese. Meron sa old newspaper do comics, Crimson Peak. Anong name po ng page? Kaya doon po sa Facebook group po natin na Dollsandspooks. Pwede nyo po yan. Okay, so mas maganda daw po yung Tagalog sub. So yes, of course, I understand naman na iba pa naman po yung ating opinion. Syempre yung palagay ko, hindi naman po ibig sabihin na rin yung opinion ng iba. So yan, kanya-kanya po tayo. Pero yun nga, sa akin lang naman, I'm not saying, okay guys, bililinawin lang po ako, baka po ang maging takeaway nyo po dito, parang pangit na pangit po ako dun sa Filipino dub. Hindi naman po sa ganon. So kino-compare ko lang po siya dun sa ginawa nga pong pag-voice acting po ng mga Amerikano, okay, sa English version, I mean. So, mas nagandahan lang po ko in terms of how they acted through their voice, doon po yun sa English version. Okay, just feel na parang medyo hilaw. Okay, I think that's the term that I'm going to use. Okay, medyo hilaw ng kaunti, yung pong Filipino version. Why? Kasi nga siguro na style nga, umpisa nga ni Liza. Hindi ko po din-down talaga si Liza, pero yun nga, so yun nga, criticism lang naman constructive. Siguro sa season 2, medyo yun nga, yun ang maging niya, pag-aralan niya. Kasi again, guys, siguro intindihin natin, si Liza, hindi rin po siya ganun proficient po kasi sa Tagalog. Okay? So Liza is, she mentioned that she grew up in the States. So she's a Filipino, half Filipino, who grew up in the States, and then maybe she moved here in the Philippines later on in her life, then that's where she learned Filipino. So kapag ganun kasi, na hindi naman talaga Filipino yung first language mo, is medyo magkakaroon ka talaga ng konting difficulty. Okay, kapag mag-iisasalita ka ng kung ikaw naman yung talagang tipong, kung Tagalog yun, I expect na talagang kukunin mo is talagang native speaker ng Tagalog. Okay. And by the way guys, so nga pala, muntik ko na makalimutan. So I did not mention this in my initial review kanina. So I've also noticed pala, okay, that they were using the spells in they were speaking the spells in Tagalog. Okay, so the spells in Tagalog even in the English version. So I thought that why did they do that? So I mean, these are like, could be translated into English. They're not gibberish. It's not like they were speaking in Latin, that you could not, you get what I mean. So why did it make that decision to speak in Tagalog or do the spells in Tagalog in the English version? So when I watched the after show, they said that, the reason they did that is because they still want to showcase the Filipino language even in the English version. So kaya pala, so sa Tagalog, gusto pa rin nila pala na parang yung mga taga-ibang bansa, okay, so ito pala yung Tagalog, ganyan. Although, buti nilang binigyan naman na konting translation, okay, kung ano bang sinasabi ni Alexandra habang nag-i-spell siya. Okay, so yung pala yun. At least, diba, parang Latin, kunyari, okay, ito pala yung words niya, ganyan. Anyway, so, mas bagay kay Liza yung Disney Princess Tagalog dub. That's my opinion. Ay, siguro. Feeling ko parang perfect siya siguro para kay Ariel. Siguro kung magkakaroon ng Tagalog version yung The Little Mermaid, okay? So, ayan. So, pwede siguro siya doon. Magsalita siya parang hindi ko lang alam kung marunong siyang kumanta. So, syempre, iba na naman na singer para sa pagkanta ng kay Ariel. Pero feeling ko parang bagay sa kanya kasi yung boses ni Ariel parang ganun, yung medyo may pagka-soft na parang, look at this stuff. Parang ganun, ganyan. Okay? So, yan. So, mas na matakot horror movies ng Pinoy. So, hopefully, baka susunod naman yung horror movies naman ng Pinoy yung pong ilagay nila sa Netflix and then, mas magkaroon ng parang mas maraming global fans na mga ganyan. Okay? If ikaw ang introduce ng new mythological creatures sa season 2, sinong pipiliin mo? So, this is a good question. Siguro, ang gusto kong mythological creature na i-introduce nila dun sa season 2, gusto ko yung mga tipong mga Serena. Although na-mention briefly yung parang ano ng Serena, yung parang buto ng Serena, hindi naman nila pinakita yung Serena. How I wish na, may Serena rin silang i-feature sa season 2 na, hindi ko lang alam kung paano maging treatment nila ng Serena, kung ito pa yung mga Serena na nakakatakot yung itsura o yung magandang Serena. So, ayan. So, yun yung gusto kong ilagay nila doon sa season 2. And then yung mga, siguro mga Encantada, ganyan. Yung mga fairies. Okay, more on mga si Mariang Makiling, ganyan. Gusto kong ipakita siya doon, si Mariang Makiling. Then kung ano yung mythology ni Mariang Makiling. Okay? Hindi po lahat na nasa comics sinunod nila. Lalo na yung story sa sister ni Trese. Iba po nila. Pati yung way kung paano nila tinalo yung dato, iba din po. Oh, nabasa mo pala tong Lipstick and Shadows yung Trese. So ayan, okay, according dito kay Lipsticks and Shadows, hindi daw po nila sinunod. Na again, I understand naman the reason for that. Okay, the reason is, kasi guys, hindi po nalaga pwede nilang sundin lahat-lahat. So either siguro para makakabagal sa pacing, then of course, limitado lang naman ng oras nila kasi ilang minuto lang naman yung isang episode. So yun. Okay? So we don't know kung yung mga susunod na season, yung season 2, as magiging faithful ba sila or papalitan pa rin nila. Pero again, kaya nga gusto ko pong mabasa rin po mismo yung pong original na comic book version, okay, nung Trese. Para malaman ko kung ano ba talaga yung talagang story. Okay? So, posible makasama ka as Trese. Ano yun? I doubt. Okay, I doubt na makasama. Makasama ako dun. Sino ba naman ako? Okay. Sana may mga diwata din. Although parang may mga diwata naman doon na feature, pero hindi sila talagang pinakita as in, itong si diwatang ganito, ganyan. Pero I think kasi yung isang babae doon na pinakita na parang mayroon siyang aura, may glow siya na white, okay, then may parang bilog. I'm not sure kung yun na yung diwata. Okay. So yan, half American, half Filipino si Liza. Yes. I think yung nanay niya is Americana. So parang pinakita yata yung nanay niya before, then parang blonde nga yata yung nanay niya. Okay. Then yan, hi madam, kumusta po? New generations, hello. New generations, mabuti naman po. I hope that you're doing well. Okay, and then yan. For me, Liza Soberano is one of the most beautiful actresses. I agree 100%. Sobrang ganda ni Liza Soberano. I just hope na she would have a brighter career. I mean, yes, sikat na siya ngayon, pero gusto ko sana, magkaroon siya ng mga serious na roles. And I think, isa siguro yung mga parang nag-hinder sa kanya para magkaroon ng mga malalaking roles is because yun nga, medyo nga soft kasi yung kanyang character. Paano ko ba sabihin to? Siguro kailangan niya talagang mas hasain pa yung boses niya. Okay, yung way ng pagsasalita niya sa Tagalog. Kasi, kasi yun eh. So feeling ko kasi talaga, if you're going to make it big here in the Philippines, dapat talaga marunong ka talagang mag-Tagalog at saka magaling kang mag-Tagalog. Kasi may marami na po kasi ditong mga artista na half Filipino, half Americans or kung ano man yung nila na hindi po magaling mag-Tagalog pero napakaganda nila. Then I suppose ayos naman pong umarte pero hindi po talaga sila super sumisikat ng talagang super yung parang tipong Nora Honor, Vilma Santos, Maricel Soriano level, mga Sharon Cuneta. Kasi nga dahil nga sa hindi nga po sila makapag-Tagalog na maayos. And then usually nga, syempre Tagalog, alam mo mag-English ka habang nandito ka sa Pilipinas gumagawa ng pelikula. So ayun. So kailangan po nilang talagang ayusin yung pagsasalita nila ng Tagalog. Okay, so ayan. So si Liza daw tinuruan na nga daw siya. Imagine may nag-coach pa po sa kanya kung paano po mag-Tagalog. And then sadly, siguro para mawala yung pag-slang-slang niya sa pagsasalita nga ng mga lines niya in Filipino, medyo nag-monotone po siya. Okay? So sa nakita ko doon na parang pinalalim pa daw yung boses niya, parang sinabihan siya na Manila, parang ganyan, parang ganun. Pero ang nangyari doon, tuloy doon dahil pinapalalim niya, is nawala yung rise and fall. Yung pong, para hindi po mag-monotone yung boses mo. So, yun ang kailangan niyang i-work out. Okay. So, anyway, yun lang naman po yung masasabi ko regarding that series. Again, please watch it if you haven't watched it already. So, kung di pa po kayo nakakapag-subscribe dito sa Dollsandspooks, subscribe na po kayo. Pakiclick yung notification bell para updated po kayo sa happenings dito sa ating channel. Pakiclick yung thumbs up. Okay, then pakishare naman ito niyo sa paboritong social media like Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook. Okay na guys, so salamat po sa pakikinig. Kasi pasensya na kayo kung dumugo ang mga ilong ninyo dahil sa pagpupumilit ko po mag-English. Okay, pero sa other half naman po yung nagtagalog na tayo. So hindi ko na kinaya. Okay, sige po. Okay, so alis po muna ako, magpapa-car wash muna ako. Hindi na makakita ng kulay ng so, sobrang sige, papaka-wash na po kayo, Tita Florencia. Ingat po. Bye-bye, guys. Bye.